And we're on. Welcome.
Could you share the camera?
No, I'm not sharing the screen anymore. We've established this. If
that was
you
like
listen,
a whole conversation.
How am I going to know?
About 20 minutes ago.
Crazy noises then. Hey.
how am I
going to time them?
I
We
prompt
could
you
have probably
anyway.
discussed this when we were discussing this, Luke.
You're saving it for the stream.
Content.
I will.
Just minutes ago.
I kind of like the idea that like your sound will be off.
The bulk of that conversation.
I was looking at something One Piece related whilst you talked about movies or something.
I kind of like the idea that it's like you go whoosh
One
and then
Piece.
it goes. It's like, I don't know, more appealing somehow.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome back, everyone.
New line.
Yolla's big thing about kind of nobody in the house to use his internet, and he's already calling from the past.
Yeah.
Oh, am I really? Am I already off?
I'm sure. Well, I mentioned it just now. I'm sure on the
Yeah.
stream it'll be absolutely fine. So let's not labour on it. But yeah, you look like you're on a VHS from the
us.
80s.
Oh, no way. Yeah, it looks fine on my end. You all look fine. As long as there's no like weird delay on it, hopefully it'll be okay. Can you hear me and comprehend me
On
all right?
YouTube, you look fine.
Great. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all that
can hear you.
matters.
Yeah.
So we just have to use our professionalism to pretend it's not happening.
Yeah, let's just pretend
sorry
there is
about
no
that, guys.
delay in your speaking.
I did actually had intended to. I can't minimize Skype either, which might reduce some of the lag. But I'll. You talk amongst yourselves while I just sort of like try and get rid of as much bumf as I got going on in the background. Or not.
I feel like when you minimize Skype, it freezes the
Yeah, the video.
Yeah,
Video.
that's why I can't minimize
just
that.
from past.
So.
Do you know what we could do? Should we talk about the previous episodes? Have a little recap.
That's what we're supposed to do. It's
A little recap.
We suddenly become really wooden after like just a nice, friendly, organic conversation. How do we do this again?
Yeah.
Yeah, the previous episode. So it's only been 2 weeks, hasn't it? It's quite a good turnaround, Mr. Burge.
Yes.
So the previous episode was hosted by Adam,
It was.
who took us into space.
Space.
The final. So now it's an excellent episode. We all enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, that was good. Very, very fun.
I missed a Picard reference in my dialogue. Right at the you'll get it again because it's at the very end, so it's at the start of mine. I completely missed it, so I'm gonna do a Picard impression just for you, Adam. And I'm very sorry that I didn't do it.
I don't remember that. Was this
Yeah.
Was this Mike?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Reference.
He says well, you'll see. You'll get it.
No spoilers.
Oh,
Says
engaged.
the thing.
Yeah, I think I did pick up on that at the time. Obviously. Just gonna go full Picard on it.
Yes.
On the grass.
Everything.
So, Burge, how did you find writing this? You seem to fly through it.
So,
It's good to
Burge, how have you found it, mate?
Oh no!
yes.
Is it that bad? Is it?
Something
I found it.
No.
I found
Right.
it,
I'm gonna.
I'm just
Technical
gonna
difficulties.
plow
I'm gonna
through.
restart maybe before we start.
Yeah, I thought it was really hard, and yeah, I thought I would find it easier than I did, and then started writing it. Picked a time, which I'll ask you about to guess shortly, and then completely ran out of ideas like almost instantly. And then I kind of, the thing I was struggling with was that everyone was like, don't recast it. I was like, cool. So I need to find a way that I'm not in it loads. Similar trouble that you had, Adam, last time. You were saying like, how would you do it? But you found a way. I think I found a way, kind of, although I am in it a bloody lot.
It's the nature of the beast, though, isn't it, with what we've put together?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
essentially my sort of solution was. I've reduced it a bit, but I'm still in it. Like that was the best you can kind of do, I think.
I think it's
Yeah.
It's
The
something.
further we've got into it, the more those characters have just become you two, so it gets harder to even contemplate recasting. So
I've kind of reversed it almost, so that James is the central character and Adrian is the sort of a slightly smaller role. Like James has the most dialogue, I think. Adam. So sorry about that, but it's just you, so it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a challenge.
So where do you think I've gone time period wise?
well,
Interested.
you dropped a sort of
2 weeks
hint,
ago.
a small hint, a small hint on the WhatsApp chat group before we mentioned about like Cockney gangsters. So the immediate thought I had was like some sort of like one of the great bank heists or train heists or something from the 60s, something like that, or maybe something to do with the craze. Anyone else got any inklings?
My first thought was that the Cockney gangster thing was a ruse. That was just a
Yeah, like
it's a red herring.
Jack Black. That's the guy. Still haunts me to this day.
Fun times.
I wake up in a sleep going, Snoochie Boochies. I never needed it.
Is that a Jack Black quote?
Is it? I don't know. It is in my adult brain.
I'm thinking like wartime sort of political drama is where I'm going.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought wartime as well.
You did say last time you thought it'd be something political, but
Yeah.
you've since gone around the houses on what you might do. So
I'm thinking in here somewhere is Churchill bracket Phil.
100%. I was going to say that. Like Churchill's here somewhere.
Well, Luke was the resident Churchill.
I'm gonna put my money on the Thatcher era, the Thatcher
Oh,
regime.
Tony Blairy era, maybe. That'd be fun.
Thatcher bracket Phil.
Cool.
All
If you could do a good Gillian Anderson film, I'd be very, very aroused and very confused.
Oh dear.
Has my internet improved at all? Is it? Am I somewhat
Seems
back?
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit better.
Cool. Okay, because I closed loads of things, so hopefully that'll fix it.
Yeah, that delay seems minuscule now.
Oh, great.
That's good.
Yay! Sweet.
So good. Yeah, so this is like the fifth in the series of the But Suddenleap adventures, where we're jumping between time and trying to correct issues in the past.
Yeah.
Are we thinking it's going to roll on to another set afterwards? Assuming Burgess left that possibility in the script, which he may not have done.
We talked last time about teaming it up.
It's done. This is the last
Oh
one.
yeah, we did. Oh, after you left, Burgess, Luke was like, we shouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
we shut
Really?
like that was shut down
Yes.
after you left.
Change that again, Birch.
Oh, it's too late now. Let's do it.
Too late. It's in the script.
It's fine.
That's
What
ace.
we did say though is that in theory the next person could then just use that as the kind of like pre-credits
Bridge.
sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type thing. But
Well, I imagine that will happen because of where the bit's set. But anyway,
It'd be really fun if we did do that setup thing, but like instead of going to the wheel, I know we love the wheel, but like if someone can wherever Bird sets up, someone goes, oh, you know what, I'll take that, or like that's a place I was thinking of going anyway, I can take that. Maybe like leave that option open, so if someone is like, say they go to a place where someone might have had an idea, or someone might have an idea for that place, or is interested in writing something about there, they can just sort of like put their hand up and take it.
yeah.
see where we end up at 10
Yeah.
Or you dob someone in it. You're like, Adrian wakes up, he's Hitler, Yolla.
I would take that and be immediately cancelled as I portray Hitler as a good guy.
Almost another win.
I really almost that was very close to what I was going to do. It was going to be I couldn't decide between like he's Hitler and he's like, I mean, should I just kill myself? Like, and I was like, that's quite dark.
Yeah.
Or
Funny.
if he was like the art the art instructor at the academy that Hitler went to when he was younger.
That's really good.
I was like, ooh, that could be funny.
That's so ace. I love that idea so much. You'd have to go like, no, that's really good.
I just couldn't I couldn't get enough out of the idea.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
I went somewhere else.
That's the problem, isn't it? That's the fundamental problem with this thing. You have ideas, but it's like, how do I actually write a 30-page script about that?
Yeah.
Or how do I stay in that one time period or one night or whatever?
Because I think Adam broached the, like Adam's like going back to the creation. I think that would have been an easier sort of like historical jaunt than this, because the thing about this one is that like, yeah, you can find good ideas like that, like the Hitler thing, but then you have to like have it be a cohesive story between James and Adrian, and like attacking that on there is just like a thing in and of itself. Whereas I think Adam's one was
it's a lot more challenging than the initial concept sort of suggests, isn't it? I think it is.
It is, absolutely.
I'm kind of reassured because I was the first one after Yola. I'm kind of reassured everyone else has had that difficulty because it is.
Yeah.
Because you've got to wrap it up. You've got to tie it into a cohesive 30-minute sort of sitcom-ish sort of episode.
It's a good challenge, though, isn't it? It's a good exercise.
Because I think Adam's one was more like sketches.
If you know what your end point is, if you're focusing on sorry, mate. You put a centre point, which it was all focused around, which was the death of Julius Caesar, and then it's just writing backwards from there, like. I mean, that's how like taught to plan in school. You have your end point and you go backwards. Well, what happened before that, and what happened before that, and what happened before that, and that's
like reverse engineering.
And that's how I took to mine. I know I veered off course ever so slightly, and it was all over a short period of time, but it was just a matter of planning backwards. How can I get from there to there to there to there?
Yeah.
I suppose that.
Yeah.
But it's like I think from when Adam's original concept, it was like sort of like sketchy segments, wasn't it? Because I remember like God and like like having like essentially a man was just guiding people along trying to make Earth again, and it was that essentially lent itself to like short little historically based sketches, which I think would have been an easier write. I think overestimate how easy this would be to write, because I was like, like it's all you have to do is like take these two characters and plop them in a bit of history, but then like no, you also need to make it. You have to get a bit of history, but also make that bit of history play out, but also make it inherently entertaining for a 30-minute segment and have James do something. So it is like a lot of strands to sort of like keep.
There's a lot of juggling, isn't it? I really struggled with what to do with James.
Yeah.
How much research did you find yourself doing, Burge? How many browser tabs did you have open about X?
Well, I had about 7 or 8 open about the Second World War, and then just ditched.
I went down that route.
Strike that out.
I listened to a four-part podcast about the American Revolution, and then wrote about Isaac Newton.
That's so good. I was thinking about the American Revolution as well. I was like, ooh, that would be a good.
I just don't know when, because it's like there's incidents as well as like the Boston Tea Party and things like that. But I just don't know how you.
Yeah, and the thing that kind of appeals to me about this as well is that like Quantum Leap did a lot of American stuff, whereas we've sort of like skewed outside of like like the moon landing and stuff. We've sort of like kept it somewhat like Britishy-ish. Well, not really actually. There's only one thing, but it's like it's not an American TV show. Predominantly has American sort of like stuff happening, and then like every once in a while it hits the big ones. I quite like the idea of like a British Quantum Leap, realistically, where they sort of like do Death of Julius Caesar.
Most of Quantum Leap was like 50s to 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I guess
50s to 80s.
To film
Yeah, like cowboys
on camera and putting sets together and stuff. Whereas at least it's not a consideration for us. So
no, absolutely not.
Flexibility.
Eurocentric.
That's it. Yeah, and it's interesting. I was hoping for Burge to go like deep Polish history. I was like, yeah, go for it. That'd be great.
Educate us, Burge.
Tempted, but it's all just them getting invaded over and over again.
There's got to be some comedy in that.
Need some sort of transition just to keep Luke's skills active.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
should we go to the script?
Yeah, Luke, give me a sound effect in 2, 1, go.
Wow.
All right.
I'll go for it.
Let's go.
Should we jump to the script?
Yeah. Previously on But Suddenleap, interior Columbia module.
How are we looking with those suits in the hatch, Mike? We're ready to rock here.
Yeah, almost got it. I've got this, James. Mike grabs the white suits and begins placing them into their storage lockers. As he does, he slips out the 2 camera units from the chest plates. He silently tosses them into the hatch and watches them float down the tunnel. He seals the hatch behind them with a thud. Good to go, Gus. Engage. Buzz chuckles as he flicks a few switches. With a bang and a loud hiss of air, the Eagle capsule and everything in it is jettisoned off into the depths of space. The trio watch through portholes as it disappears out of view.
She was a beauty. So long, Eagle.
Neil remains silent, deep in thought. Just remind me again, do you like being wrong about your fundamental beliefs in the world or not? Can't remember.
Yeah, very good. Laugh it up, Mr. No-Nose.
No-Nose? I don't get it. Hold on. What happened to my face, James? Said you were protecting my face. James? Fade out. Fade in. Interior, exterior time vortex. Adrian flies through the time vortex at speed, pulling against the G-force in order to grasp at his nose. But within a few seconds, he lands. Interior, well-furnished bedroom, circa 2010s, day. We see POV through Adrian's eyes. The nicely put-together bedroom, classy but not too showy. He's currently in bed underneath plush covers. There's no one else here. Adrian again grasps for his nose.
Relax, mate. I was just winding you up.
Right.
To be clear, if you had lost your nose, you know that you wouldn't be able to tell by feeling your host's nose, right?
It's instinctive. You should try this sometime. It's hard.
All right. Keep your nose on.
Adrian spots a table with a breakfast tray, brimming with food. Fresh fruit, egg soldiers, Cocoa Pops. He gets out of bed, rushes over, and immediately stuffs his face. Oh, mate, I'm famished. That pheasant feels like a long time ago.
Where are you this time, anyway? The eye light's playing up again.
Dunno. Adrian continues to fill his face with food. He slurps down a large glass of cold orange juice.
Could you look?
At the other side of the table are almost all the national newspapers. Adrian checks the headlines. They describe, in various states of rage and glee, their editorial opinions on Brexit. They are dated 24th of June 2016. Shit. Wait, what are you shitting about?
I think I need to move us. There's loads more of those tadpoles knocking about. It's getting silly. Don't worry about it. I've got it under control. Let's focus on the mission.
I swear to God, if I have to make Brexit happen, I'll...
Never speak to your racist gran again. There are worse things, Adrian. Namely giant, muscular amphibians.
Adrian shakes his head. He heads to the bathroom to find a mirror. If I'm Farage, I'm topping myself. Toads or no toads. Adrian walks into a large bathroom oozing wealth. Classic dark blue tiles line the walls. There's a bath and a walk-in shower. A huge mirror hangs above a ceramic sink. He stands in front of the mirror. A ruddy-cheeked, posh ham of a man that looks strikingly like David Cameron stares back. Fuck's sake. Interior, dilapidated hospital, operating theatre. Night. James stifles a laugh.
What's that? Night. It's just desserts for voting Lib Dem in 2010.
James carefully gathers various delicate-looking pieces of scientific equipment together and then stuffs them haphazardly into a backpack. He checks he has everything he needs and then begins wheeling the gurney containing Adrian out of the room. Every few steps he kicks the wheelie stand holding the IV drip to make sure it keeps pace. It's precarious. After checking the hallway is empty, he walks with purpose to the service lift. James enters and presses for the ground floor. As the doors close, 2 shadowy figures emerge from the shadowy shadows.
What?
The second figure stares back at the first blankly. The first figure tries again.
God's sake, follow him.
I was going to, but then you started whistling at me.
The first figure shakes his head and pushes past the second figure to turn to the stairwell. The second figure shrugs and follows behind. Interior, posh bathroom, day. Adrian continues to stare at his Cameronian reflection. He raises his arms and then lets them drop. He feels weak. You can just tell this guy hasn't done an honest day's work in his life.
Oh, and you have?
I had that sub-attempt job at Next.
You were fired for smoking weed in the toilets.
There's a knock from somewhere outside the bathroom. Adrian tentatively steps out. Another knock is coming from the bedroom door. Crap, someone there.
Well, go and answer the door then.
Adrian walks over to the door and opens it. Outside is a special advisor called Zach. He looks exactly like the kind of weasel-faced posho who'd work for David Cameron.
Dave, you're naked again, Dave.
Well, we love
David-
Zach.
I'm
David
imagining a
Cameron.
weasel-faced posho, and yeah, that's
Nailed it. David Cameron is indeed nude, apart from a pair of socks stretched high up his calves. Adrian considers this for a moment. Of course I'm naked. I'm an entitled cunt.
Jesus, Adrian.
Very well, Dave.
Why are you calling me Dave so much? Shouldn't you be calling me Sir or Lord of the Hams or something?
You said it made you feel like a man of the people.
Right. Adrian stops to consider the situation for a moment. He points to Cameron's penis. This not indecent exposure?
Well, we're well used to it, Dave. If I could just have a minute of your time, asking whether you were serious last night
Remind me.
about resigning. You said you'd resign if you'd lost the Brexit vote, Dave. We all said you were mad because you've got such glorious...
Fuck no. It's his mess. He should clean it up. Interior, dilapidated hospital, ground floor, night. The lift arrives at the ground floor and James peeks out to check the coast is clear. Fortunately, there isn't any coast. He wheels thank you. He wheels the hospital bed along the empty corridor toward the entrance. James shakes his head in disbelief.
Unbelievable. I can't believe I have to remind you of this, but make sure he resigns. You're meant to be putting everything right.
Fuck that. There were no consequences for this guy.
We were all raging about the shed, mate.
The goal to build a fuck-off shed. No, not you. The future guy in my head. James grimaces.
At least try and make an effort not to act too weird. You're clearly there to make him resign. Just get it done, and then you can move on.
There's a suspiciously long pause. James can hear a faint flapping sound coming from Adrian's side of the time vortex.
Dave, you're doing the helicopter again, Dave. I did tell you before that it made me uncomfortable.
Faint flapping sound just killed me. What the hell are you playing up?
Shut up. I'm David Cameron, baby. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, late title card. Episode 30, But Suddenleap 5, Downing Street Disarray. Exterior, deserted street outside hospital, night. James checks his immediate surroundings. There is the familiar, haunting and obligatory sound of a guttural croak.
Croak.
But, sensing no immediate danger, he begins pushing Adrian's hospital bed down a side street. In the distance, he sees two tadpoles jerk and shudder. Suddenly, wings burst from their backs. Sorry about this. And they fly from one building to the next, laughing maniacally and slightly.
Beautiful.
That's like, my God. You're literally making things worse out here, Adrian.
There's no response. James listens in. He can hear Adrian chatting absolute bollocks to his advisor.
Oh, so you're ignoring me now. Very mature.
James pushes the bed round one corner and then another. He's searching the streets looking for somewhere specific.
You know, I could just be an absolute prick and fill your head with inane chat until you give in. But that's more your sort of thing.
He finds what he's looking for. It's a small annex to the hospital, but it's slightly tucked away out of view underneath an overpass to the car park. He pushes Adrian inside. Lingering outside, we see the two figures from earlier. They peer around the corner and watch James enter the annex. Under the streetlight, we can see them more clearly. Barry is a reedy, uptight-looking man wearing horn-rimmed spectacles. Julie is a large, thuggish-looking woman. Their clothes are torn in places, and they generally look dishevelled in a post-apocalyptic kind of way.
Call the boss and tell him you found something particularly interesting.
This leaf?
It's not the...
Barry reaches into Julie's backpack and takes out a walkie-talkie, thrusting it into her chest.
Just call him.
Okay. Come in, boss. Over.
There's a faint crackling sound before a voice is heard on the other end of the walkie-talkie. He speaks like a London gangster.
What is it?
Barry found something interesting. Some kind of special leaf.
It's another survivor.
What's so interesting about that?
This one's different. He has the thing.
You're sure? Because I was very disappointed last time.
Barry and Julie exchange a nervous look.
I'm 90% sure.
And I'm 10% unsure.
I'm on my way. Make yourselves useful and have it all sorted by the time I arrive.
Yes, sir.
They put the walkie-talkie away and begin walking towards the annex. Thanks, guys. That all three excellent
Great voices. Yeah.
excellent voices.
Luke's always got an air of Mark Hamill about him, which is always fine. They're always fine, fantastic. It's
It's got that manic energy.
Yeah, it's so good.
Interior Downing Street meeting room day is a large, busy meeting room. A flurry of advisors move in and out of the room at speed, given orders by Zach and other more senior staff. Another set of advisors sits on chairs arranged in a circle. They are frantically pitching ideas.
It's imperative we get out ahead of the narrative. We need to make an official statement and we need to do it quickly.
It could be something simple, a holding statement of sorts.
The briefer and more ambiguous, the better.
Zach stops barking orders at the other staff and tunes into the conversation.
Something like the Prime Minister respects the result of the referendum and continues to...
Serve the British people?
Yes, exactly. What do you think, Dave?
The advisors turn to a corner of the room where we see David Cameron and Adrian, one leg crossed over the other, still completely naked apart from the socks. He's holding a flute. What? Yeah, sure, sounds good. How's the other thing coming along? Zach quickly scribbles down the statement and passes it to a member of staff who hurries away with it.
The other thing, Dave?
Don't play coy, Zachary. You know what I'm talking about. You start it off. I want to see how it's coming along. Zach coughs. The advisors look at one another awkwardly, clearly uncomfortable.
Oh, be do.
Ooh, dee wee.
Ooh, dee oop. I want to be like you. Ooh, ooh. I want to walk like you. Deep. Talk like you. Deep. It's true.
Excellent. Cabinet aren't going to know what hit him.
What the actual fuck, Adrian?
Oh, you heard that? What do you think?
Yes, very good, Dave. Can we move on to...
No, not you, the future guy up here.
What's going on, mate? Can you just get back to the mission? I've got a nice secure spot for us away from the amphibicons. So let's just... How did you get in there?
Zach and the other advisors look at Adrian apprehensively, waiting for him to say something else. But Adrian isn't paying attention to the room. He's now trying to listen to James. Is there a metronome?
Yeah. What is the metronome?
Speak into time.
Beth's mic, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just, it was like a perfect. Okay. Everything all right up there? He becomes aware of everyone looking at him and remembers he is currently David Cameron. I have to go. I'm going to assume you're fine. Just protect my nose, okay? Adrian looks at the advisor with mischief in his eyes, as if to say, what's next? He plays a little tune on the flute. Interior hospital annex night. In the annex, the ward seems less dilapidated. Presumably this is because the mutant amphibians have yet to find it. James is backed up against a wall, standing in front of the gurney and IV. Facing him are Barry and Julie. They are still some distance away, but they're creeping closer.
Keep back. What do you want?
Nice life, well-paid job. Nice man who loves me.
You know full well what we're after.
James steals a glance at the red crystal inside the IV bag. But then he sizes up the intruders and looks at them dubiously.
Enlighten me.
Julie pauses before taking a torch from her bag and shining it on James. Barry places a hand on the torch to lower it.
What?
I said, enlighten me.
Julie looks down at the torch in her hand and then up at Barry, who silently shakes his head.
Had you just watched Airplane on Naked Gun or something?
I don't know where it came from. I don't know where they came from.
Perhaps I actually don't know what you're after.
Don't bother, Shirley.
Isn't it obvious?
No, actually, it's not.
I agree, I thought it was a leaf outside.
Barry turns to chastise Julie.
Of course it wasn't the leaf. Why on earth would it have been the leaf? The leaf is just a bloody leaf.
While they are distracted, James quickly throws a curtain around himself and Adrian. He unclips the IV bag from its stand and attaches it inside Adrian's top, hidden from view. Barry and Julie rush over to the curtain and draw it open.
Oi, no hiding.
What do you think you're doing?
Excuse me, can't you see that I'm inspecting his penis?
James rests his hand on the top of Adrian's pants. Barry and Julie quickly spin around.
Oh, God.
Oh, sorry.
A tadpole bit his penis and now he's infected. I'm doing everything I can.
James, quick question. Couldn't help tuning in. What the fuck?
Just saving your life. No big deal. Have you resigned yet?
There's no reply. Barry and Julie continue to stand facing away from James with their hands covering their eyes.
Can we look at?
You want to see an infected penis?
James steps away from Adrian and draws the curtain around the gurney.
Where did you two come from anyway? Why are you skulking around a hospital instead of seeking refuge?
Hey, we're not skunks.
No, we're scavengers looking for supplies in the hospital, just like you for your infected penis friend.
Don't love that nickname.
Scavengers? Jesus, it's only been about 2 days.
There's a pause while all three look around the annex and realise it's a private ward. There are endless medical supplies.
Not very good scavengers, are you?
Oh, this is brilliant. The boss is going to be so happy.
Barry runs to a large cabinet and then takes off his backpack, filling it with medicines, syringes, IV bags, etc. Julie follows suit. James peers back through the curtain to check Adrian's vitals on the iLife pad. They're all fine.
This boss of yours, does he lead some kind of refuge?
It's a kind of refuge, but with more gangsters and coercive control.
Barry hits her on the arm.
I'm sorry. It is a refuge. It's certainly a refuge from those things outside.
All of a sudden, two normal-sized frogs appear in mid-air inside the annex. They plop onto the ground.
Adrian, whatever you do with Cameron, stop.
Frogs twitch and convulse until they erupt into a large, human-sized mutated form. Julie immediately rushes towards them.
Julie smash!
She tackles one of the frogs to the ground, punching it in the gut several times. Each hit produces a comical squelching noise. The other frog turns its attention to Barry and James. It flicks out its tongue like a whip. Barry dodges out of the way just in time. Instead, a metal trolley is cleaved in two.
Don't suppose you can tackle like your friend?
I'm more of a logistics guy. How about you?
Science nerd, obviously.
The frog leaps from its spot and then bounces from bed to bed, getting closer to James with each leap. It's about to collide with him when a bullet pierces its body, coating the wall in frog guts. At the door stands the boss. He is a man in his 50s dressed like a Prohibition-era gangster mobster. He holds a sawn-off shotgun in one hand. Julie stands up and yanks the semi-conscious frog from the ground. The boss walks up to it and sticks the gun underneath its head. He pulls the trigger and the head explodes. James flinches.
Now those two froggy cunts are dead. Where's my fucking time crystal?
Shit.
Interior Downing Street, cabinet meeting, day. David Cameron's full cabinet is in attendance. All the old faces you'd love to hate. George Osborne, Theresa May, Jeremy Hunt. It's a classic lineup. David Cameron is of course there, and of course he's still completely naked. Also of note, Michael Gove, who's standing on his chair, squatting up and down.
Oompa, loompa, doompa doo. I've got a perfect puzzle for you. Oompa, loompa, doompa dee. If you are wise, you listen to me.
The cabinet.
Me again. I thought we passed on the torch.
Oh, there's more.
So beautiful for Michael Gove.
The cabinet watch go over the pics of utter cringe and snide hilarity. Cameron's advisor Zach can be seen cringing in the corner.
What do you get when you fuck up a vote? Giving a choice to the plebeian goats. Such an affront, I'm a terrible cunt. I want to go home and spark a blunt.
There's no applause. There's just a long, awkward pause. Well, I loved it.
Dave, I think some of the cabinets are getting a little agitated.
You said you're not going to resign, but you haven't given a single constructive idea of what happens next.
It's true, Dave. I'd follow you anywhere, you know that. But Just a little more guidance.
Hey, my Jeremy Hunt.
Exactly. We need a strategy. We can't just sit around making sing songs all day.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm happy to be useful.
Waha!
Jeremy's right. Have some self-respect, Go, for goodness sake. Anyway, babe, I mean, Dave, what shall we do?
Thanks, guys. Adrian nods understandingly, though he's actually completely out of his depth. So, you all actually do care what the public think of you. There was a pause before the entire cabinet burst into laughter. Adrian laughs too, as though he's just told a good joke.
Good one as always, Dave.
Our jobs are on the line here, and if we don't get this right, you know that.
Mamma mia.
Well, no, Labour aren't a threat, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be careful with our approach. Unless you say that we shouldn't, of course.
Adrian shakes his head derisively. Right, so austerity and everything, the Brexit vote, it was all in your own self-interests. The cabinet exchanged confused glances. We killed people, right? With austerity. Completely avoidable. There was no need.
Well, it trapped Labour, didn't it?
Oh, no. This is perfect, because Jeremy Hunt's like so bland. There's nothing to like, actually latch into, so just lean into the Mario.
I can just imagine Phil's like morning routine is like, it's a me. In the mirror. Fantastic, Phil.
It's you, Luke.
3 to me.
What was it? Sorry, just a little bit. Oh, no. Yes, it was your idea. Having second thoughts.
Adrian stares at the sycophants, the power grabbers, the incompetents, and he sighs. I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. The cabinet stare back at a defeated Cameron, assuming his behaviour and nakedness is just part of a breakdown after losing the Brexit vote. Fine, I'll resign. Theresa May does a full-blown evil laugh. She doesn't know how the next year will pan out. I need one more thing before I go. A parting gift.
Yes, Dave. Anything for you, Dave.
Shall I sing again, Dave? I could spank myself if you prefer, Dave.
Osborne and Gove give each other dirty looks. They both try and get the last say.
Dave.
Dave? 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 Dave?
Game over.
Adrian calls Zach over and whispers something in his ear. The advisor smiles and then leaves the room. Interior hospital annex night. James stands facing the boss in shock. Julia's fallen into line behind the boss, while Barry sits by the medical cabinet with his backpack open.
How could you possibly know about that?
That's for me to know, and for you to never fucking find out. Now hand it over.
James looks nervously at the curtain behind him.
I can't.
The boss raises his shotgun and points it at James.
I think you'll find you fucking can and will.
James sighs and draws back the curtain, revealing Adrian on the gurney. He takes out the IV bag containing the time crystal and hooks it back over the stand.
If I give it to you, it'll kill him. He's hooked up to it right now, trying to rectify the mistakes of our past. We're trying to get rid of the kaiju frogs, and it is working. We just need more time.
There's a pause while the others take in James's explanation. The boss seems to find it faintly amusing. He lowers his gun.
Trouble I'm having is twofold. Firstly, that time crystal will help my refuge tremendously.
But sir, look, there's so many supplies here. They'll keep us going for ages.
I thought I told you to never fucking interrupt me.
Barry winces.
Secondly, that crystal is my ticket out of this fucking mess. I think a nice tropical island in the middle of fucking nowhere, circa 1965. What do you think?
But it's not possible. There's only one charge left, and we're using it.
Outside the window, a flying tadpole flutters past, snickering to itself. James clocks it and smiles. The boss raises his gun again.
I much prefer killing those amphibicunts, but needs must.
Adrian, you there?
As James tunes into Adrian's side of the time vortex, he hears lots of loud cheering, jeering, and sneering. God, they are ruthless.
What?
The Tories, they're bloody ruthless. It's like they hate each other even more than they hate the poor. The boss watches James seemingly talk to himself with a puzzled expression.
You know how I said just get on with it and resign? do the opposite or something. Do something outrageous right now.
Oh, I thought I was. Interior Downing Street cabinet meeting day. The room of Tory cabinet members is making an absolute ruckus. It's chaos in the room. They're shouting and cheering. Adrian is now at the fringes, visibly scared. In the centre of the room, hung up like a piñata, is Jacob Rees-Mogg, whose howls of pain can hardly be heard amidst the clamour. The Tories are taking it in turns to beat him with a wooden plank. Just wanted some fun before I resigned, but this is horrible.
Think about what the anathema would be to the Tories in that room.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
No, not anthem, anathema. What would they hate the most?
Adrian grins. I've got it.
And then you resign ASAP, okay?
I don't think I'll have a choice. All right, that's enough. Now listen, we've all had our fun, but it's time to put things right. The raucous Tories slowly sit down. Rees-Mogg stays strung up above the table. Here's my plan. I want to raise the minimum wage to a decent living wage. I want to make it easier for people to get benefits. I'll phase out fossil fuel use and invest seriously in green energy. Oh, I want to get rid of first past the post. The Tories stare at David Cameron and Adrian in shock and bemusement. The heartbreak in George Osborne's eyes is evident. Theresa May rubs her hands with glee. Go physically shakes with anger.
Kill him!
Beautiful.
Interior hospital annex night. Barry and Julie look on nervously as the boss continues to aim his gun at James.
Well, that was weird, but whatever.
James closes his eyes and breathes in deeply.
Oh, please, whack.
As if on cue, a horrifying strangled cry rings out across the annex, followed by a squelching sound. A kind of rupture appears in the ceiling above the boss, and a little frog falls out. Just before it lands on the boss's head, it transforms into a grotesquely tall, thin, bespectacled frog who crushes the boss under its weight.
Eat the paw! Eat the paw!
Fuck me, it worked. Now all I need is to run.
James launches into action, grabs the gurney and races to the exit. Same. Interior Downing Street Hall's day. An angry mob of Tory MPs and cabinet ministers chase David Cameron and Adrian down the Downing Street corridors. I'm resigning. At least let me get me some clothes on. Interior Hospital Annex night. In the room, Julie is struggling to rescue the boss from beneath Jacob Rees' frog. At the double doors exiting the annex, James is met by Barry. He stands in his way before handing him his backpack.
I used to be a nurse before all this. You need to keep him hydrated and fed.
Barry moves out of the way.
Cheers. Good luck out there.
James exits the annex and begins running away. Barry calls after him.
Easy bud, rest until he finds you. Bye.
On the streets surrounding the hospital, James moves as quickly as he can, desperately searching for somewhere to harbour Adrian.
Have you resigned yet?
A loud gunshot can be heard from the direction of the hospital. All right, keep your nose on. You're as bad as them. I'm dressed and being escorted outside now.
There he goes.
Interior, exterior time vortex. Adrian spins once again through the endless swirly-whirly mist of time. Exterior, large wooden hulled ship, day. A gigantic sail billows in the wind. 74 cannons line the ship's sides. There are crew members walking to and fro. They're wearing blue buttoned uniforms, white leggings and black boots. There is a lone figure standing at the bow of the ship. He stares off into the distance. He is slightly short.
It's amazing to be this close to him.
Well, go and introduce yourself. Tell him you're a big fan.
Nah, I'm too nervous. You probably hate the attention.
Do it. Honestly, love it.
First crew member walks awkwardly to the lone figure. He stands behind him and doesn't notice the eyes rolling back in his head or the slight trembling of his body.
Emperor Napoleon, I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of yours. Everything you've done for our country has been superb, and my family and I thank you so deeply.
There's no immediate response.
Well, anyway, that's all I really wanted to say.
Napoleon suddenly lurches forward and hurls over the bow of the ship. He wipes his mouth with his sleeve and turns to the crew member. Well, this is shite. Fade out.
Beautiful.
Very good.
Yay!
That was so much fun.
Very well done, mate. That was loads of fun. That was ace. That was really, really fun.
Cheers, guys.
I like how like you essentially the solution to like you not talking too much was like essentially focusing on James. So you just like kind of just like I don't know, lived your best life through Adrian's eyes by going like I can torture some Tories now.
Helicopter's gonna linger.
Very well done.
Yeah, helicopter was something else.
Yeah, helicopter. Brilliant.
I liked the switch onto a more story-driven James.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Yeah,
100%.
sort of. It's one of the things I struggled with. It's like how much do you try and push that forward and
Yeah.
see what's happening there versus how much time you spend in there.
And
But I enjoyed it,
honestly,
yeah.
like it takes a lot because like fundamentally, like I had the idea as well to like sort of like go, oh, you know what, I'm gonna do a James centric episode, but then like you kind of like miss out on like doing the full extent of the history stuff. So kudos on doing that because I think it was like kind of needed to a certain degree to sort of like pad out more of the Jamesy side. So it was nice to see more of James and like the future stuff.
Weirdly, it never occurred to me about like other people. Or
Yeah.
anything like that either, for some reason. I don't know why, but
I did sort of think along those lines actually about there being sort of because it's kind of what would happen, isn't it? There'd be
Yeah.
scavengers and people trying to.
Because Burge did
Capitalize
message
on
me saying like, oh,
situation.
what, like, did you think there might be survivors in the future? And I was like, I hadn't even dawned on me like that
Yeah.
idea. So I was like,
it never even occurred to me like the time frame we were talking about as well. Like, you knuckle it down to like 2 days. Or
2 days,
whatever,
yeah,
and
that's pretty cool.
that never occurred to me like how long it had actually been since the end of
Kaiju
like our
frogs.
Just
yeah,
thought
the
it'd be
kaiju.
funny if it was like 2 days because it's like no time at all.
No
It's all,
time at
like,
all.
you know,
Yeah.
dilapidated hospital. Like,
He instantly collapses.
Really good, yeah.
But it's like, but also here's the thing is like I kind of liked the hinting at the next person thing at the end. I know we discussed it.
I
Like,
enjoyed that.
the thing
No, I like
that Burge you missed is that like we kind of broached it with Luke and he made some good points of saying like, yeah, but the thing that is the appealing thing for Luke is that like that steadily finding out what time period it is. So we kind of like sort of like half finished that like a conversation where we were like, oh, maybe not, maybe so. But now seeing it in practice, I kind of like that. I kind of like sort of like the sort of like alley-oop, and obviously the next person doesn't necessarily have to use that to its full extent.
And the good thing about But Suddenleap is there's no obligation anyway. So it's like
never.
you could do a page of it, you could just whatever
100%.
you could do whatever you want really. So
because
Well,
it could feed itself
could do
into
it.
like a quick sketch. Do you know what I mean? Like a really quick sort of like funny sketch, and then you jump onto the real one, or you can focus on it.
or you just like you start it and it's like 2 weeks later and you're like, well,
Yeah,
I've
like
got
Yeah.
oh my god, that
Shite Napoleon
thank
episode.
goodness it's not-
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. So here's the question: is does anyone want to put their hand up and say that they want Napoleon, or does someone want
spin
to? Oh, sorry,
spin it.
spin it. Yep. Okay, I'm in for a spinner.
Is Burge on the spinner, or is you exempt from because since you just wrote an episode? Is it just the four of
I
us?
suppose, yeah, he doesn't want to do 2 in a row, so I think like we'll exempt him this time and
Probably.
like add him to the next one.
Yeah.
Is maybe the best one. Right, I'm gonna do some.
I don't want to do Napoleon.
There's a film coming out in like 2 months. So we've got film. We could just wait for that and like
Yeah,
just watch that and then.
that's true.
Right, I'm just going to enter our names into the spinner. Just transition away to
I really enjoyed that.
and then
Thing
I
is,
really
now
liked
we
the
can't see the
voices
spinner.
you guys did, by the way. I thought it was like Luke that was completely unexpected for that Barry
Yeah.
character, but it was great.
I didn't know what to do. Just went
Yeah, I
on a
know. I
gamble.
purposely left it kind of blank because just. But then yeah, the London gangster. He's so good at that voice. Phil is just so.
yeah,
Really?
that was ace. That was
Yeah.
that was really good. Right, so I'm just gonna share the screen because it dawns on me that you can't actually see the spinner now. The spinner is up, and we're ready to go for who does it
I predict Yola.
next. What?
I'm going. I reckon green.
Do you reckon?
Yola.
I'm gonna like. The thing is I wonder if it's like if the calculations of this is done from like where the arrow starts. So I might just like wait for it to go a bit further away from my name and then click now. But now like I'll punish for my transgressions and no, it actually landed on the one it was on.
Interesting.
Well, interesting. Is that a bit? Is
Okay,
that
not for your
unfair though? Because
confession.
Adam literally like only just done it. I don't know. Up to you guys.
How do you feel about that, Adam?
You thought you were off the hook for a bit longer.
I
I'm
thought
not happy.
yeah, I thought, one, and then 2 weeks later would be good. But yeah, then we'll
Take your time.
Yeah.
think about
Or we can roll again. I don't necessarily mind rolling again if you think
No,
that's
it's all good. The spinner
The spinner has chosen then.
Adam,
Do a quick
Adam,
trial spin
sorry.
just to see if Luke's name comes up.
Okay,
Sorry,
right.
maybe resume conversation.
whilst we're doing this, Adam,
Yeah.
how did you feel about like a more James-centric episode?
Oh, it would be Luke. Next.
This look good. Yeah, I liked it. Like I say, I didn't feel like I was in that any more than I was like last time out, to be honest. So I think you got the balance like really, really well.
It is
Okay,
nice to
good.
see. It was nice to see James like interact with people, because like James is normally like just like the snacky voice in the background. So like really kind of cool to like see James.
I think
sort of
that threw
his
me a
feet.
little bit, to be honest, because it's usually just sort of bouncing off
Yeah.
of you, and it's usually like you say, it's kind of, if it's not like advice, it's kind of like a snarky one-liner or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was weird having to do like actual lines and sort of conversation a little bit, but it's good. It was good.
Good. I thought you did it really well. Anyway, it was good to like.
Nobody guessed Brexit votes or 2010 era politics.
No.
We were-
To be fair, I think I may have been the closest when I said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said.
you said Theresa May. Didn't you not say Theresa May?
I did say
said-
Theresa May.
You
So
said
you-
Thatcher.
Yeah, Thatcher's what you said. Sorry,
Same
Thatcher.
thing.
Yeah. Actually, hold on.
Awful person.
But the
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun because I think what I discussed. Funnily enough, I think I discussed it with was it with you, Burge? Where like I discussed like the conceit of them having already screwed up. I might have been Luke, but them having already screwed up time essentially mean that time is screwed up, so that like when you go back in time to a historical era, like it doesn't have to be 100% accurate because like it'll have already been fucked with, so you can sort of like
Yeah, I
toy
think you
with
were
it.
talking about that. Yeah, it was sort of
Like
because
like
the timeline's kind of already been
the sort
disrupted,
of
so it
like
doesn't have to be.
comedic sort of like take
So Jeremy
some-
Hunt can speak like Mario, and that's
which is the
is fine.
funniest
So
thing. That
good.
was absolutely
Fantastic.
That was
Oh
so
no,
good.
that was the line that
that was
killed me.
hilarious. So funny.
Do it for us again, Phil. Do it again.
no, it's on the page.
Yeah. So yeah, and then so we got these last 5, and then we'll aim to. Well, one good thing about you being picked, Adam, is that you don't have to sort of like mess around with the finale anymore, like you did last time with the shit here.
So you thinking this set will gear towards some sort of?
I think it's
conclusion
only
to
fair.
this-
I think it's
this
like
arc?
I quite like, like even though But Suddenleap is meant to be like a sprawling going anywhere thing, I do quite like just like in the midst of it setting like sort of like rudimentary rules for ourselves, sort of makes it inherently fun.
The good thing
So-
is there is always those tethers back to the original timeline, like the crystals are kind
Yeah,
of linked
exactly,
back
yeah.
to the 5 and whatever else, and
absolutely.
Doctrell and stuff. So there's always those little hints
Yeah.
that you can lean back into as needed.
Because I think the thing that we sort of learned from the first sort of like section is that when you just sort of like when you really lean in on the fact that you can take it absolutely anywhere, it goes anywhere, and it goes a bit too crazy and wild because you've got so much things like going on and background, and everyone wants to try.
Yeah,
and
I
top-
really enjoyed the. Sorry, keep going.
No, carry on,
I
carry
really
on, carry
enjoyed the focus of the Chateau saga.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
I like.
It was kind
I
of,
really like that as well.
It was good.
It was like it was really kind of sort of like trying to make a sort of like a cohesive strand of story, which was quite good. And I like this
It's
as well.
quite-
It's like this is fun as well, which is just like
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
it just makes it like it's nice to have people to follow essentially, and sort of like being able to sort of follow their paths. But,
And it's really good that the future timeline has kind of been progressed a little bit, and you're seeing a little bit more detail to that. And I guess that's going to be necessary to actually come into some sort of conclusion.
yeah, 100%,
I think
100%.
it is good because I think we were in danger of just like, he's just running around this hospital.
Yeah.
and noises are happening. And
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. It felt a bit flat.
Muscular
Yeah, absolutely.
evidence.
Muscular.
With wings now, and they're like they've got
That was
political-
great. I forgot. Yeah, that was a really great bit actually when
Yeah.
the wings just sprouted.
Because
from
I really
nowhere. So good.
like that sort of visual element of like the fuck ups actively
Hmm.
having like an effect on the future. It's just really funny to me. It's just like, oh yeah, he's playing around in the past, so now they have wings, and now now they're Jacob Reese.
Sorry, I froze.
Jacob
Froze
Reese
for a
Frog.
second there.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, my only regret is we didn't see Jacob's Reese Frog get blown up by the boss, because that would have been
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
satisfying.
But the boss
Viewer,
is very
in
interesting.
case you weren't aware, we are not fans of the Tories.
Yeah.
This is all back to your stories about Tories thing, Bird, isn't it? It's all full circle.
It's played out now. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
The also the boss is like a potential kind of villain-esque character that people can use how they want.
Yeah, because I did consider that as well. Because in my original absolutely ludicrously long first episode, as I had someone that I didn't mention who it was, sort of silently follow Adrian through the past, and I was going to sort of like leave that villain up to you guys. I was going to be like, yeah, you guys can make that villain, but I'm sort of like glad I didn't, so that he can sort of like come up naturally. So it's cool that we have the boss. Phil, always a villain. Phil, unfortunately, you're just like our resident villain in Stranding.
Nixon,
Debonair, like you literally like all of them. Except for Obobo Balosh.
The villain.
Who Obobo Balosh was short-lived, but that was Adam.
Always a villain.
Was he a villain?
Yeah.
I suppose he was very nice.
The screeched kill him by Gove as well was absolutely perfect.
Amazing, yeah.
Like I had to make that Iolo just because I knew he'd like absolutely nail it.
Yeah, and the Oompa Loompa stuff, like Jesus Christ.
Oh, amazing.
Revenge will be
was really
sweet, oh Burgess, Mister. Like, do you remember? I had a conversation with Burge when we were in London once, and he was like, "Yeah, like you guys don't. Oh, I've lost half of you. Oh, and everyone's come back.
I'm back.
Oh, yeah.
Little glitch in the Matrix.
Oh,
We're good.
Yeah, just a little glitch. But I was having a conversation with Burge in London, and then you said like, oh, no, like I don't really get like wild characters to have. So I told Luke this. I told Luke like, oh yeah, I give Burge an absolute loony one. I think he did in his script, and I can't remember when it was, but I think he did. But like, yeah, so I've got that in my bank. Like you said that we didn't give you wild enough characters, and you just made me sing Oompa Loompa. So, oh Burge, oh poor Burge.
You've created a convention where I have to go.
That is true. That is very true. And it is my favourite part, almost always.
Although I think you said that was revenge for Red Bull.
Yeah. So
I'm happy for that to be
it's
another.
Just like back and forth
thing.
between me and you now. but no, it was fun. That was really fun. That was really good, mate.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, really enjoyable. Right, bye everyone. This will be on YouTube later. Like and subscribe. We can say that now. Like and subscribe.
Well, it's on YouTube now.
Now.